the ones that I see really successful take the shortcuts of hiring consultants, hiring experts, learning, going into masterminds, going to events like this, absorbing from people, implementing it.
Okay, what's up, everyone? I'm here with Mina for our classic conference interview.
I love it, man.
It's been, what, three years in a row?
3 years?
Yeah,
No, I mean, I think more, because we did like Prosper and Sell and Scale.
Long time ago. Let's say 5 years on average.
5 years. 5 conferences, 3 years.
5,
like that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Mina, let's start with the current state of e-commerce.
Okay.
What is the biggest challenge that you see sellers facing in general all over in e-com right now?
So the biggest challenge is e-com has become significantly more competitive. So that comes with a host of problems: rising cost per clicks, everything is getting more crowded, and unfortunately the competition has a lot more money than you. So, or like not all of it, but the majority of it. So now it's like you have to get way more scrappy, and you can no longer just coast by and put a product up and say, you know, it's cool, like it has okay images, it doesn't have the best images, has okay reviews. Everything now needs to be taken to the next level. When it comes, before we even talk about ads, when it comes to your listing, you need to constantly split test your main image. From what I'm seeing, I'm just talking about like, you know, we have these killer brands that are slowly declining, and then they're coming to us and they're like, you know, what's happening? And I'm like, okay, well, we've been running the ads, the traffic looks like it's solid, but your click-through rate's going down, your conversion rate's going down. And when click-through rate goes down, what happens is you get less organic sessions, which now increases your cost of traffic because you're getting, you know, less of the organic, which and spending the same amount of money on paid. And then, you know, it also increases cost per clicks because what we've seen is, I don't know why, but when your CTR goes up, your cost per click goes down. Yes. And it shouldn't really happen, but I think that Amazon is rewarding the good experience. Yeah, the good experience. So, you know, we have to focus on main image. We have to focus on getting more reviews. We have to focus on testing the price, because you might have, you know, $1 lower, but your CTR goes up and you're selling more units versus, you know, a couple dollars higher. Maybe your CTR is not affected and you're still selling. So you just have to test you know, price. And then when you go into the rest of the listing, there's all of these components that I used to optimize once every year and a half, maybe. And now it's like once every 6 months maximum.
And what does that optimization look like? Like, what are you doing to optimize that continuously?
So SEO wise, we use Data Dive. We go in, we have the title, the bullet points, the backend search term. We look at our ranking juice versus our competitors. I will optimize, and literally 3 months later, someone else has better ranking just than me. So now I'm re-optimizing, you know, so I can capture more SEO in my title, my bullet points, which is like kind of the most important. Then, you know, besides that, we go, you know, besides title and bullet points, we're going into now the creative side of the listing. So the rest of the images, the video on the listing, brand story, premium A+. By the way, I see a lot of listings without premium A+. And these guys are doing like millions a year. I mean, it's so simple. All you have to do is have a brand story on all your SKUs, submit 15 different versions of A+ content, and then you can get you apply for eligibility for.
It's simple.
It's simple. You just have to do it. So I don't know why not more people are doing it, but if it's you versus someone else who has premium A+, I mean, it's just getting more and more competitive.
The principle that I'm seeing is to take advantage of everything that you have access to and making sure that's all filled out, that it looks good, that it's competitive. Talk to me about AI is a big topic right now. Generative and predictive AI. So are you leveraging that in any capacity? ChatGPT is the common one, but in any capacity are you?
We're definitely, so it's been interesting. Someone mentioned on, I think Kevin King on a podcast, where you would take all the reviews, negative reviews of competitors, plug them in, and then positive reviews of competitors. And I think there's tools right now that do, you know, you plug in the ASIN, your ASIN, or you plug in the bunch of ASINs, and it will do this AI analysis of say, hey, I'm going to give you some recommendations. All your competitors have these issues. You know, your competitors have these pros. You have these issues and these pros. You know, try and update and develop your product so that you are now, because the number one thing you can do, like, master traffic, master conversion rate, but if you have the best product on the market, it's like, you know, it's going to be a huge differentiator. It's going to make all the difference in the world, versus if you have something, you know, that you're like, okay, whatever, I don't want to just put too much time into R&D, and you're like fighting with PPC and launching these campaigns and negative keywords and all this stuff, and you know, you're doing all the little details, but you're losing sight of, like, products are made to solve people's problems.
Yes.
And if you have the best solution, it's going to get you a long way. If you have really bad marketing and a really good product, it's not going to matter. But if you have really good marketing and then you take an okay product and now you have the best product on the market, it goes a very long way.
Review generation is a big topic right now. It's that conversation has changed so much over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Where is review generation at currently? Like, what are you recommending? What are you doing for people to generate reviews?
Yeah, I mean, okay. The only white hat way to generate reviews is to ask people for a review. And so, number one, you want the request review button. If you can automate that in your orders page, there's a request review button. Use a tool like Ecom Engine. I don't know if you guys do it too. I'm not sure, but
we don't know.
Yeah, but basically, it's just gonna automatically request reviews. You're gonna get an email from Amazon says, rate your experience. So that's number one. Number two is you have the ability to ask someone for a review. That's it. Leave a review. Please leave a review. You can't ask them for a positive review. You can't incentivize them. Now,
of course,
there's some people that have been, putting these insert cards, but instead of like saying, "Oh, get a free product," or whatever, they're just giving you value. Like, here's a free ebook on like 30 glute exercises, or here's like this, you get a full free recipe book or stuff like that. Warranty, whatever. So I'm not 100% sure. That's great because you can give them that thing, and then once you can communicate with them, then you're like, "Hey, please leave us a review." So
people are still using inserts to a degree, but not incentivizing a review through that. Exactly. They're just some way to communicate with clients.
You incentivize them to give you their contact info, and then you say just leave us a review. That's it. No positive, but you did give them something. So it's great.
Great, okay.
Then the one thing that I'm seeing that is maybe better, it's not a good answer, but it's better than nothing if we're staying completely white hat, is your insert cards preventing negative reviews. So hassle-free returns, hassle-free refund, et cetera, these things that you can kind of leverage and say, okay, before you leave a 1-star review, I got you. Like, I'll give you your money back like this. You don't have to deal with Amazon. Just send me an email, you're good to go, or scan this QR code, request a refund, you're good to go. And
it's kind of tackling the problem before they leave a 1-star review, basically.
And the theory is, if you have a really good product, you will get 5-star reviews over time, especially when you have higher velocity. It's not ideal without you going, against terms of service, which, by the way, I mean, it's happening a lot. There's different ways to go against terms of service and without getting caught. But if you want to stay within terms of service, you're going to get the good reviews over time with a good product and with velocity. And if you prevent enough of the bad reviews, you should be in a very good state.
Yeah. So multi-channel is another really big conversation right now. Are you diversifying your attention outside of Amazon? What does that split look like? And that could include like Walmart, social. What does that split look like for you right now?
Yeah. Right now, it's if I'm an Amazon, if I'm looking at an Amazon brand, we're 100% Amazon. We're not trying to diversify. What we're trying to do is diversify internationally. So having different markets, because you can open up, I think, Canada, UK, the EU, and maybe a couple other places, and equal all of your sales on Amazon. If you're like a bestseller, maybe not, but if you're like normal, if you're in the top 10 or 20 and you do expand to all these places, you do double your revenue on average. And so I like to diversify where I have the highest leverage. So instead of taking my money, my time, my energy, going to Walmart where I have no leverage, I don't know Walmart, I'm not good at it, there's not enough experts out there on it, I'm doing, more Amazon, which is not ideal. But if you are a D2C brand, what we are seeing is more of an even split between D2C. Amazon's actually sometimes beating D2C.
Yeah, wow.
Like brands, there's brands that came to me, they were 80% D2C, 20% Amazon, and they became like 55% Amazon. Wow, yeah, Amazon's just a monster, and it's a machine.
It is.
And it's really good. And it's awesome, man. Like, if you get it down right, you do make a lot more money than anywhere else. But it definitely has its cons too.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about the mindset of a successful seller. Yeah. So I'm curious, obviously you're big on mindset. Yeah. You're also big on approaching things in a very mindful way, personal development, personal growth. What common themes do you see with successful sellers? Like, what mindset do successful sellers have?
Yeah, I think all of them have the mindset of they will never give up. Like they would rather die first before giving up. And I see like the successful ones usually commonly, this is not always the case, but commonly are like ones that started like from nothing and like life was really bad. And so when you're up there, you are fighting for your life every single day. You're like, I am not going back to that place. And even though like this person's making millions and he's never going to go back to that place, but that stays in you. And I think it's like that hunger and the being relentless and you're like, you know, you can take my products down, you can suspend me, you can, you know, do this, attack me, whatever is going to happen to me, I'm still going to, you know, push forward. That's the main mindset. And the second one is the ones that I see really successful take the shortcuts of hiring consultants, hiring experts, learning, going into masterminds, going to events like this, absorbing from people. I've seen them do that very successfully. Like you know, from very early on, you know, I'm like, how did you figure this out? And it's like, well, I have this guy who connected me with this guy and I learned from this. And I'm like, okay, I get it. These guys are finding people who have been there, done that, you know, just taking the answer right away, implementing it and taking action.
So that leads into community. Community is a huge aspect. Like we're at Amazon Accelerate right now. Community is a huge aspect of the seller community and of people that are successful.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people that aren't really plugged into a community within e-commerce or Amazon, but that want to be? How would you suggest people get started, like connecting with others?
Yeah, I think the easiest thing is to show up and you know, have a positive attitude. You don't have too many expectations, and have those conversations. I think everyone loves to talk about themselves, so if you approach it curiously, hey, what's up? How's it going? You know, what do you do? Cool. You know, tell me what have you learned? What have you benefited from this event? And one thing will lead to another, and eventually someone will say, I'm in this mastermind. This guy taught me this. I took this guy's course, whatever it is. And I mean, it's a direct correlation with the number of conversations you have. Definitely. So if I came here and I had 10 conversations, I might leave with one thing. So I'm like, okay, cool. If I want to leave with 100 things, I need 1,000 conversations.
Yep.
And it just, that's it.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. I mean, like you can't talk to that many people asking them their advice or how they learned or where they're getting their information without being exposed to all the different communities.
Yeah. And people are, if you ask questions, people are really willing to give what they know just from a simple conversation and asking. I mean, how can people find you, contact you?
So Instagram at the Mina Elias or LinkedIn, Mina, Mina, Elias, Elias. Follow me, hit me up, ask me questions. Go to my YouTube. I have a ton of really good content about PPC, Amazon, everything like that.
Mina is also a great person to get connected to connect to the e-commerce community. So follow him, connect with him, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.